Running?
Yeah, I'm running because it's like a competition. Germany versus US. German versus USA. Hey guys, welcome to Aufstehn Productions. My name is Pia, and this is my brother
Milan. We're siblings, and it's quarantine time, so we got downtime, and we figured we'll tell you guys the differences between
Germany
and the US. Today we'll talk about restaurant culture, and I just threw away our paper. We're gonna keep going.
So as we all know, in the US, the restaurant industry heavily relies on tipping, right? And having worked in the restaurant business previously, you always spot a tourist based on the check usually, just because they either don't know about the tipping, they're not used to it, or whatever. Tipping in the US, it's usually from about 18 to 20%. So, but in Germany, it's not. In Germany, tipping, usually you just round up. So if you had a check for
$22.50.
it's $23. I mean, because the servers, they get paid more hourly, so they don't rely on tipping as their main income.
Yeah, so if you like your server or your waitress or waiter, you obviously are more than welcome to tip more in Germany. I remember when I went on vacation, I forgot that you're technically only rounding up, so I ended up leaving like a €5 tip, and then the waitress, she was like, "Oh my god, are you sure?" And I'm like, "Well, I can't take it back now." And then, but it's like, I didn't mind, but it's usually your people are more surprised if you tip them more.
Yes.
Pro tip, if you go to a club and you tip the bartender, they'll make you extra strong drinks.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the same thing over here. If you tip somebody more, they take care of you.
Yeah.
So it's
true.
always a good thing.
Yeah.
So look out for your hospitality folks.
Finger guns. Number 2. Let's talk about refills. In the US, if you go to a restaurant, most of the time, if you, let's say, order a soda, you can get unlimited refills.
Yes.
However, in Germany, that's not the case. In Germany, if you order a Coke, you get one Coke, and then if you want another Coke, you have to pay for another Coke. However, the big difference is in Germany, if you order a beverage in the restaurant, you can either order a small drink or a big drink, and then on the glass itself, there's a little line that indicates how much they are supposed to fill up. So that way you know you're getting your money's worth. Because in the US, most of the time it's just filled up with ice.
Exactly.
And you're not really getting that much drink.
Which leads us to point number 3. Or let's do the German 3, which means ice in beverages, which is not the case in Germany. Usually they're cooled, so you get a cool beverage, but it's not filled with ice. If you want ice in it, you have to ask for it specifically. It's because you pay for the exact amount that you ordered. You ordered the exact amount of milliliters, that's the exact amount that you get. You see it filled up to the line, maybe even more if they're generous, but they won't be stingy on it because then you can complain.
Correct.
But so yeah, you get what you pay for, hence no ice, because that takes away from all the yummy liquidations that you ordered.
I do have to say, if you go to like a fast food restaurant, that's not the case. If you have like a to-go cup from like, I don't know, wherever, they don't have that indicator, and there's some ice in it.
Yes, that is true. So it's mainly for regular restaurant business. And just a little shout out to our favorite soda, which is a mix between Coke and Fanta.
But it's a different type of Fanta than it is here.
Yes, the Fanta here is
orange.
Yeah.
And in Germany it's yellow.
Ish. Mix Coke and European Fanta probably.
Yeah. And
then it creates Spezi. Yummy. If you ever get a chance to try it, definitely give it a try. If you drink soda.
Yeah. 4. So for alcohol, in Germany, when you're 16, you're allowed to drink beer and wine. And once you're 18, you're allowed to drink everything else. And that's all we have to say about beer and wine. However, it goes directly into our point number 5. Is when you go to restaurants in Germany, they have this this culture of drinking an Absacker after eating a meal, and German meals tend to be on the heavier side.
Yes, for sure.
And it's the saying that if you drink an Absacker after, it helps your digestion. And basically what an Absacker is schnapps.
Yeah, pear schnapps or apple or liqueur. Ramazzotti is really popular. And it's not just in German style restaurants, it's usually at most, if not almost all types of restaurants, from all, like Italian restaurant, Indian restaurant, whatever it is. They usually, because a lot of the restaurants in Europe are privately owned and they're not chains, they really delve into their relationship with their customer. Their relationship with customers is really important, so they bring you a little thank you at the end. Of course, sometimes it's like a piece of candy or breath mint or a fortune cookie or something, of course, like here sometimes as well. But then again, sometimes if you had a big meal and you spend a lot of money, they give each adult a shot at the end. And then sometimes the owner even sits down with you and they drink it as well, just to continue building that customer relationship.
Yeah, or if you go back, they'll remember you. And then, like maybe the first time around you go there, you have to order it. But sometimes, you know, in the future, or sometimes it's unprompted, they'll just bring it over as a thank you for coming to the restaurant. So and I'm a really big fan of that.
Oh, for sure. Is it? Number 6. Now you're getting ready to pay, you get the bill. Surprise, surprise! All the prices you saw on the menu have already taxes included, which makes calculations so much easier.
Yeah.
And since we already talked about tipping, so you don't have to add much of that, you can just round it up. Add something, a little extra flourish if you like, but you don't have to. In conclusion, what you saw, the prices you saw on the menu, just get added up. There's nothing really added at the end, because tip and taxes are already included, which is also the case in grocery stores, or if you buy clothing, attire, and all kinds of stuff now.
And then now we have 3 more extra facts for you guys, or information when you go to a German restaurant.
One, of course, that I've already mentioned, that a lot of the restaurants are privately owned, and a lot of restaurants are associated to a sports club, which I think is super fascinating. It's usually like a typically German restaurant. They have like the schnitzel and the sausages and everything that you stereotypically think and hopefully like of Germany.
To jump off of that, in the US, if you go to a sports bar, most of the time that just means you go to a restaurant that has a bunch of TVs and they show different sports on those TVs. In Germany, if you go to a sports bar, sports restaurant, it means because it's attached to a sports club.
Correct. And they do have TV screens and they show
most of the time
soccer matches, usually, but also some other sports, of course. But that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And then, of course, to go is a huge thing over here, of course. You can order to go, or at the end when you didn't finish your meal, you can take the rest to go, which is not as common in Germany as it is here. Even packing up leftovers. You eat your meal because you're an adult and you can finish your plate.
And if you don't finish it, it's gonna rain the next day. Every German knows that.
Exactly.
If you don't eat your food, you don't get to play outside.
And then lastly, smoking. Cigarette smoking. Cigarette smoking. In Europe, I feel a lot more people still smoke compared to here. In Germany, while I was going to school, there was a lot of law changes that were happening, because it used to be the case that people could smoke in the restaurant. It doesn't matter if there are kids or non-smokers around, there's one big room, everybody can smoke. But then the laws changed, and now there's different room assignments. So there's a smoker room and then a non-smoker room sometimes.
If the restaurant has the space.
Or you would have to go
outside.
The same thing with clubs. All of them are non-smoking now. You have to go outside or go to the designated cigarette smoking area.
Why are you so hung up on saying cigarette?
Just want to emphasize that the people know what I'm talking about. Alright folks, that's all we have to share with you guys today about German versus US restaurant culture. I'm gonna add the German and the US flag, so that's why I keep doing this. I think this is already out of the shot. So German versus US restaurant business. Bye. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe below.
For someone who has a lot of experience making YouTube videos.
Alright, let's try this again. Thanks so much for watching this, guys. Remember to like and subscribe below. And stay tuned for our additional videos on the German versus US series.
Are you running?
Yeah, I'm running because it's like a competition.
German
versus US. German versus USA. Ein Einheit und Recht und Freiheit.